Good afternoon. For today's movement, we are going to free up some restrictions down the sides of the ribs, which will help get your shoulder moving better. It will help you open up your chest. So if your scapula wings, so your shoulder blades, if it wings away from your body, doesn't glide around smoothly. If posture's really been hunched forward from, sitting watching Netflix all Christmas or anything, being on your phone too much, what we are going to use is a bath towel. So grab yourself a bath towel, we're going to fold it in half, then we're going to fold it in half down away, and then you're going to roll it up. So you're making yourself a towel sausage. Here, and then we're going to come down onto the floor, so let me bring you with me. That's the right sentence structure. Sometimes I say things and in my mind I'm thinking I don't know if that sentence makes sense. Right, what we're going to do with the towel is we're going to start in underneath the armpit, lying down on the floor, and then we're going to just move round until we find a point on the rib, between the ribs and the towel, that feels like it's a bit tight. Now it shouldn't be painful where it's taking your breath away. If you're like, oh my god, that's so sore, you're not going to be able to relax into it, you're not going to be able to release the pain, so you're going to move just a bit back from that, and far enough back from that point that you can go, right, okay, I'm going to gradually ease into this. We all have restrictions in our ribs, so depending on how you sit, just before I go down on the floor, so if you sit like this or like this, your rib cage is going to be twisted. One side of your waist is likely going to be short. If you bring your hands and press in on your ribs, it might feel like you're higher on one side than you are the other. It might feel stiffer to press in on one side more than the other. That's an indication. That stiff side is the side that you probably lean into and shorten most often. What happens then is your fascia, which is connective tissue, the glue that holds the whole body together, starts to structure and decompress so that it makes it nice and rigid to support your body, to make this position easier for your body to hold. But then when we're twisted, when we're rotated, we have then restrictions in how the bones move, how we breathe. That then has an impact on how we feel. So if we're really tight and restricted and we can't breathe properly, that's going to increase feelings of anxiety. It's going to restrict our movement, it's going to increase our pain. That blockage in flow is also going to increase inflammation in your body, and if you have been following me for any length of time, you will know I'm always talking about lymphatic drainage. Lymphatic drainage helps clear those toxins out, but if your fascia is restricted, that lymph can't pass through. That tight ball, lymph cannot get through that point. So we're going to help open that up just by using our towel. So we're going to come onto the floor, lying on our side. Now, if you're really tight in your shoulder, lying out here might be uncomfortable, in which case you're going to have to adjust your position. But ideally, what we want, I'm just going to move down so I'm in camera, is towel on the ribs, head on the hand. Now, ideally, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder and the ear are all in line with each other. So rather than this, we want to try and have this. This is going to help open up through the armpit, down the side of the ribs. Now then, we want to think about the ribs. We want this bottom side long, so it's okay for the top side to be short because we're focusing on this bottom side. We want to check ribs are not thrusting forward, but equally we're not curled back. So somewhere in the middle. This top hand can be resting on the floor to help you balance, and legs are just however's comfortable for you to balance. So when you're here, you want to take some deep breaths in. So ideally, if you can, breathe in through your nose. When you're breathing in, I want you to think about the breath coming into this bottom side of the rib cage. So we're trying to get your ribs sit here. There are intercostal muscles that sit in between them. Those muscles help the rib cage expand out and come back in. But what happens when we're compressed is they come down and then they can't move. So we are trying to create that space in there. And we're going to use the breath and the internal stretch with the compression externally. So nice, full deep breath in. So this is really good point for you to check, am I in the right place to help release pressure and tension? So as I said before, if you're can't breathe, oh my god, then you need to back away. If you're lying here thinking this is super comfortable, I could lie here all day, then I want you to slightly shift your weight either back but go back and then go forward, and just notice, does that get a little bit more uncomfortable? And if it does, you're going to hang out in that slightly more uncomfortable place. Now if you're in line with your boob and you start to come forward into the boob, that's going to help if you get tender breasts during the month. This is going to help clear that, because when you're getting tender breasts, it's a build up in the lymphatic system of the excess hormones that need to get flushed out, and for some reason there's congestion that's stopping them from being flushed out. Now it could be your bra is too tight. When you take your bra off at night, if you have an indentation of your bra, if the tissue's all red and you can still see where the bra was, your bra is far too tight. So you need to consider that, because it's restricting lymph flow, and that has been linked, not caused by, but has been linked to an increased rate of breast cancer. So think about your bra, think about the clothes that you're wearing. If your clothes are restricting your breath and restricting that movement, it's having a knock-on effect to your physiology. Now we're going to stay here for about 3 minutes. I have no idea how long we've been sitting here for, because I haven't got a clock. My battery in my clock up there has run out, and my other phone is at the other side of the room. But we want to keep nice deep breaths. We're looking for that. So when you're doing this, we want to be here for about 3 to 5 minutes. I do this every evening. I work through several different points in my body. I sleep like a baby when I've done this. The nights where I haven't had a chance to do it, my sleep is disrupted. So important if you have poor sleep. Could be restrictions in your fascia that are reducing your ability to relax and be able to drift off into a deep, restful and recovering sleep. We're going to switch over to the other side. So from here, you can roll over onto your tummy and go to the other side. Slide. If your towel's flattened, you might want to just roll it off again. I'm going to sit up and turn myself round, because I don't want to be lying with my back to you. But for the least amount of disruption for you, if you just roll onto your tummy and go round, that's the best way. So I'm just going to tighten that back up and then get into this other side. Now when you come to the other side, I'm thinking about that alignment again. We're thinking about our breath. We are noticing what there is to notice. We're tucking those ribs in. Taking a breath in, looking for that expanse on this lower side. We're looking for that softening as we exhale. And again, we're going to have, if it's super comfy where you are, you're going to have a wee lean back, explore how it feels going back. If that feels okay, lean forward, see how it feels as you go forward. Now this side may very likely experiencing very different depending on which side your shorter side. So the first side that I did was my shorter side. I have got more trigger points on that side. So you just move your tail around until you find the bit, go, oh yeah, that's a bit tight there. Yeah, found it. And then we're just going to breathe into it. When I do this in the evening, I have my stopwatch beside me and I run my stopwatch. I also have my Kindle and I'm watching whatever I'm watching on Netflix. You can do this as a meditative practice. It's very nice to do as a meditative practice. When we're working into our fascia, when we're releasing this stuff off, we are also releasing trapped emotions. So when we have an emotion, there's a hormonal cascade that happens in your body. And those hormonal cascades can get trapped in your tissues if you don't have good flow. So if you're really upset or really angry and you close your body in, that's going to trap those emotions and hormones. So when we're compressed in here, that traps that in, we're not letting it through the body, we're not letting it through, so that gradually over time can build up. So sometimes when you're doing this work, we start to free things up, we start to let things go. Sometimes we have thought patterns and we'll start going, why am I thinking about this thing that happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, depending on how old you are, 40 years old ago. Or sensations can come up. Some people have tears, some people laugh, some people scream, some people get angry, some people feel joy, because some people don't allow themselves to feel joy. So it's interesting to notice what comes up. Now what I will say is if you're watching Netflix, you're much less likely to experience that because you're mentally not as engaged with what's going on in your body because you're being distracted. And that's okay to do that if that's where you're at. But there would be an encouragement at some point to go, right, let's do this as a meditative practice. Let's see what is releasing in my body. Let's see how this actually feels. And then allow that to process. How is that breath going? Do you need to slightly adjust your position on your towel? Oh, I found another bit. So I'm just looking at either side of the ribs. We can use this towel in all the body. We can use it under our feet, we can use it on our calves, on our thighs, in our groin, in our lower back, our backside, down the spine, in the back of the neck, in the front of the chest, armpits, down through the breastbone, into the abdomen. Every part of your body can benefit from doing this work, depending on where you're holding tension, depending on where you're holding that trauma, or depending on where you're holding those emotions. If you would like to know more about this, if you would like to work on your body doing more of this, please do reach out to me. I am Jen Wilson, the Healing Rebel. I forgot to introduce myself at the start. I have been doing this work consistently since about 6 months ago. I learned vaguely about it 18 years ago and I just dropped it in and out little. It's just been in the last couple of years that has really come to the front of my observation how this is really involved in how energy is moving through our body or not moving through our body. And in the last 6 months I've really brought it in as a daily practice. It was a sporadic practice before that. Daily practice. And I am noticing very, I'm going to say impressive differences. I'm noticing significant differences in my posture, how my body's holding, how I'm processing things, inflammation's reducing in my body. It's all very good. Right, I'm going to finish this video here and now. If you want to stay on this for a little bit longer, please feel free. As I say, if you've got any questions, do reach out to me. I am Jen Wilson on all the socials, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, website. Yeah, have a fabby day, whatever you're up to.